Right, Chris over at Dixieland Farm, and today we're having construction. Construction done by professionals, not by me. So let's take a look real quick at what's happening. So this is our living room, and you can see it's got this really, really tall door and two windows, and both windows are rotted out. And more importantly, the door is rotted out. Water comes in underneath. I've had to put this kind of almost like silly putty stuff here to keep out the air, bugs, sunlight, wind, rain. So what the guys are going to be doing is they're going to come here, remove this, build out the wall a little bit more, and put in two French doors. But I am going to work. Marissa will be the supervisor, and honestly, there's nothing we can do anyway. It's pretty straightforward, but certainly not for me. And they'll probably be less light, but the French doors will look better, and the French doors actually have the blinds in them, double pane. So I'm curious to find out whether our electric bill changes, because our electric bill is horrible in the winter. I don't know.
Doesn't get me while I'm sweaty.
Marissa, we live on a horse farm.
Yes, we do.
What do horse farms have?
Flies.
What do we have now?
All of the flies, they're all here. They're no longer living outside. They've moved indoors with us.
They're roommates. You can't even. I don't even know. You can't see them because they're tiny.
Picture. Two on the top of the television.
I've killed at least 15, and there's got to be 100 left.
Right there.
Some of them are. I mean, it's just ridiculous. But
it's because they had construction work, and the side of the house was open all day.
And right now,
it was necessary.
Yeah,
it was necessary. It wasn't like.
And the house right now is 82 degrees. It's so hot in here, but it will cool down in a couple of days, a couple of months. It'll finally cool down. But let's take a look at the halfway point. So there it is. It's got the blinds built in, and the electrical outlets will be repositioned at some point. They'll fill that all in with insulation, and they will continue to drywall it, put a trim around it, etc., etc. So even though right now there is still some daylight poking through, this is technically less daylight than there was poking through. That's how bad the old setup was. And they found termite damage.
Surprise. We hate demolition codes, especially on an older home. You never know what you're going to find underneath that's going to cause problems further down the road.
But it could have been much worse.
Yeah. It was reasonable. The guys worked quickly. They dealt with the issues as they popped up, and the dogs were traumatized having to stay locked up in the computer room all day.
And Sir Chubbs-a-lot here ran out and ran down the road, so Marissa had to go run after.
On the hottest day of the year so far, it's 95 degrees outside, and I had to chase his fat butt down the street with my fat butt down the street.
Well, folks, 7:30 a.m. and about to install the security light here because the one that's already on the building broke a long time ago, so it's time. And yeah, so what does the thing look like? It looks like that. Let's go past me so you can see. So we happen to have some siding. They put it up. I'm going to have to power wash that, and then that's the light I've got to replace. But it looks fantastic, and we had a little rain event happen here. You can see from the branches, and the door held up. I am going to have to paint the door though, which add that to the list of things to do. Not in the next week here though, because with the heat index it's going to be 108. But let's go ahead and get that light installed. Sorry about the wind. Run into a slight snag. The screw that you use to hold the light to the plate is just a little too short with the vinyl siding, so I had to run out to Lowe's and go get a longer screw. So, oh, there it is, all installed, and the white stuff in the corners is actually white caulk that will turn clear once it dries. So this is what the house looks like from the inside. So they drywalled where they needed to build inwards, and I'm gonna have to spray orange peel texture in there to match the walls, sand, paint, and let's be honest, that's gonna take a little bit of time. I'm just not going to do it right away because I've got plenty of things to do. But yesterday we had almost hurricane force winds. The corner of that whistled just a little bit. He's going to come and just kind of if the door gets pushed in just slightly, it goes away. So it's either weather stripping or the door needs to be just tweaked just a little bit. But no rain from underneath where normally there would have been a puddle with that much rain. So that's great. And you can actually feel no heat from the door, and the old door and windows, you could actually feel heat and wind, the blinds would move. So none of that anymore. And it just looks great. So we're very happy with the upgrade. And Walt's happy too, aren't you, pal? Say goodbye, Walt.